Are you tired of struggling to learn new things at a snail's pace? Do you wish that you could just about plug your brain into a computer and instantly absorb the knowledge? Well, you can just about do that now, at least partially, with the power of artificial intelligence and super large language model. And of course, I'm talking about ChatGPT. With it, you can now learn many things 10x faster than ever before. Whether you want to master a new language, become a reasonably proficient in programming and coding, be much more productive with the new writing projects, you can do that with ChatGPT. And what I found it most useful, that it will save you tons and tons of time. In this video, I'm going to show some examples of that, and while I will focus on typical programming and software engineering problems in this video, you can extend it to pretty much any other areas of learning and problem solving. And my first one is letting ChatGPT work as an interviewer. So my prompt is this: I want you to act as an interviewer. I will be the candidate and you will ask me the interview questions for the position of junior React web developer. I want you to only reply as the interviewer. Do not write all the conversation at once. I want you to only do the interview with me, ask me the questions and wait for my answers. Do not write explanations. Ask me the questions one by one like an interviewer does and wait for my answers. My first sentence is hi, and let's send it. Alright, this is what it says. Can you please start by telling me a little bit about your background and experience with React web development? Let's write my answer here. I have worked with React for 2 years. And let's see the next question. Great. Can you walk me through a project that you developed using React and describe your role in the project? And my answer will be something like, you have developed mobile apps with React Native. And just a classic questions. How do you approach designing and developing user interfaces? Can you give me an example of complex UI design that you have implemented in one of your React Native project? Alright, so you can see the idea here that you can just answer the question from the ChatGPT and it will continue to ask one question after another. And till now, it looks like all these questions are pretty standard for a standard React position. Alright, next up, I'm just going to take help from ChatGPT on explanation of code. So I just went to a random GitHub page here, which has a solution of some lead code problems. And I'm just copying these solution, which has some regular expression implementation, and going to ChatGPT and will tell it to explain the following Python code. And look at this. Till now, it looks really what the code is actually doing. And it explained this regular expression part pretty well. It does this by first stripping any leading white spaces from the string and then using a regular expression to extract a sequence of digits that may be preceded by an optional plus or minus sign. The extracted digits are converted to an integer and stored in a list R. And that's exactly what this line was doing. And then it goes on explanation. Okay, R exceeds the first part of the return statement checks if R is not empty and if the first value in R exceeds the maximum 32-bit signed integer value of 2 to the power 31 minus 1. If this is true, the method returns a maximum integer value. And the second part of the return statement checks if R is not empty. Okay, let's see the line here. And that's exactly what this line is really doing, that it is checking the maximum integer values and putting an OR, chaining these various conditions with an OR. And ChatGPT explains that as well. The return statement uses the OR operator to chain the conditions, which means that it will evaluate each part of the statement in order and return the first non-false value it encounters. That is such a simple and succinct explanation really of this function. Next up, I am going to provide this buggy code to ChatGPT and ask it if it can find the bug. And probably you have guessed it right that what's wrong with this particular function, that here I'm trying to actually reassign this value of this global variable score, but it is actually not doing that. If I run this, see, although I am reassigning this score equal to 0, but again at the end it is 100. Let's see whether ChatGPT can find where it's going wrong. So I come to ChatGPT and just paste this whole code with the prompt that find bug in the following Python code. Here I'm trying to change the value of the global score variable with the test function, and then paste the whole function, and let's run it. And indeed, it has found the bug and also provided me the actually corrected function, exactly how I was expecting it to correct. So it says the issue with the code is that the test function is creating a new local variable score instead of modifying the global variable score. This is because when you assign a value to a variable inside a function, Python assumes that the variable is local to the function unless you explicitly specify that it is a global variable using the global keyword. To modify the global score variable, you need to use a global keyword inside the test function to tell Python that you want to refer to the global variable. So this is the main correction, that you just pass this global key variable and then you do it just like it, and that will be your corrected version. And I just tested it by running it in the Jupyter Notebook, and here now I'm getting the reassigned variable, that is a global score variable value has now changed when I run this function. Next up, I'm going to ask ChatGPT one of the most popular interview question on JavaScript, and that is this, that if I want to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the following code using setTimeout, will it do it? And if not, why? So let's just ask. Yeah, that's right. And then it goes on explaining exactly the correct explanation, which is when the for loop runs, it sets up 5 setTimeout function, each of which will print the value of I after a certain delay. However, because the setTimeout functions are asynchronous, they will not execute immediately. Instead, they will be added to the event queue in Node.js and executed after the for loop has completed. By the time the first setTimeout function executes, the value of the I will be 5 because of the loop has already finished. This means that all 5 functions will print the same value of 5 rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it also gives a solution that to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have to re-modify the function and refactor the function accordingly, and that's likely this version is a correct version actually. And it says in this version of the code, the setTimeout function is wrapped in an immediately invoked function expression that is called IIFE. That is, this whole setTimeout is implemented as an IIFE function that captures the value of I at each iteration of the loop and assigns it to a new variable j. The setTimeout function then logs the value of j after a certain delay, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 respectively. So the future of education is here. ChatGPT provides instant feedback for your complex questions and to your attempts. The need for a highly paid tutor will largely be reduced. And it is not for no reason that many schools across the world have banned ChatGPT. So this technology never gets tired or bored. It's always available to answer your questions, provide feedback, and guide you on your learning journey. So why waste another minute struggling to learn on your own? Now, I'm not saying you completely delegate your work to ChatGPT, because underlying AI technology is no way flawless yet, and many times it will give you wrong answer. But that's why you are here, to supervise it and direct it in the correct direction. But together with ChatGPT, you can definitely give a 10x boost, if not more, to your output or to your learning. Alright, that pretty much wraps up this video. Over the coming weeks, I will do few more on this line, and if you have found it useful, smash the like button. And also, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.